So I know what you're thinking. There is no way that we're going to remove all of this hard skin in just one treatment without unscrupulous methods. But let me show you how KB sanding discs and sanding disc holder can get rid of this hard skin in just 15 minutes. When working on a foot like this, you want to actually make sure that the heel is facing upwards to you, so you have got a complete full view of it, rather than the base of the foot facing downwards, where you may be filing blind. So at a speed of 40,000 RPM, I am using a 150 grit sanding disc, and I am working from the middle of the foot to the outer part, and I'm using only the first quarter of that sanding disc, as that sanding disc rotates on the e-file, is going to use that whole circumference. You can see how this is just shaving through that product easily. It's really important to use a high speed. A lot of techs fear working with a higher speed for this kind of technique because they think this will actually create more heat build-up and be more uncomfortable for the customer. However, it's completely the opposite. When you work at a higher speed, the bit will just glide over effortlessly and it will just shave through that hard skin. If you work on a lower speed, what will actually happen is you need to apply quite a lot of pressure, and that pressure will cause heat build-up and a burning sensation on your client's foot, and it will become uncomfortable. So always work on a higher speed. Start at a speed of around 30,000 to 35,000 RPM and turn it up if you need. Due to the immense buildup of hard skin on this foot, I knew that I was going to go straight to 40,000 RPM. And you can tell how much you'll need to file as well by the colouring of the skin. So you can see that this foot, because that build-up is so severe, it's got that kind of yellowy tone to it. It hasn't got that nice plump pinkness to it, and with just a normal amount of hard skin build-up, you've got the pinkiness with just that like white layer of hard skin and dry skin over it. Where this has got that white hard dry skin, it's got that thick yellow callus build-up, and then underneath that you've got the nice soft supple skin, which is what we want to reveal. So I knew that this needed a 40,000 RPM and a 150 grit file, and this is going to take some time, and it's just about working a little bit at a time. So always work on one area and keep moving on. You'll see as I'm doing this, I'm doing one area, I'm moving on. I'm not keeping my bit in one place constantly, because if you keep it in one place at all times, what's going to happen is you are then going to create heat build-up, and it's going to get uncomfortable for your clients. So I've gone over the whole area to soften and remove some of that top layer of hard skin. Now this very base, the heel where you've got the cracks and fissures, this is going to take the most work, and that fissure going across the base. So I'm actually working side to side to remove that hard yellow buildup. You can see that it's starting to soften it. So I keep working on one area and then moving on, and you can start to see how much that is softening. So a little bit of perseverance and time is needed with a treatment like this. But even this only taking 15 minutes, you might think that's going to put a lot of time on your nail surface, but actually you would be able to get both feet done in say 25 minutes. Yes, that might be half of your pedicure service, but the rest of the pedicure would be much quicker and much easier. And could you imagine if your feet look like this, you put a pedicure and you left with, well, when you see the results at the end, you'll be absolutely amazed. It is one of the things that I find with pedicures that always used to lack with when I was working in salon back-to-back on clients. The thing that I wanted the most was the hard skin removal, but when I was doing clients back-to-back like that, the only tool that existed was a manual foot file. And there's not a chance that that was ever, with however much time I had, that would remove calluses and hard skin build-up like this. And I had so many customers come to me with feet like this. So to be able to offer this as a service and actually remove that hard skin gently, safely, to give them the results that you will see at the end. It's just that's so satisfying, and it gives really good job satisfaction. So aftercare is really important as well, so they must make sure that they're looking after their feet in between with moisturisers, otherwise this does just build back up. Or I would recommend that they come in more regularly so you don't have to work from this starting point again. So keep working round and round, and keep have your sanding disc on, and then move around without keeping it on one area. So you can see this large crack that is in that base as well. We're going to work on that area and the cracks. You see we're working side to side, and I'm actually going backwards and forwards with this because we're going to work at both sides of those cracks to start breaking down that hard skin, still at exactly the same angle, and using that first only the quarter part of that bit, and then keep moving on as I'm working. So I did all of one direction, and now I'm working in the other direction, and then back again. And you can see how much softer those cracks now are. Now you may think at this point, oh, that's enough, I will leave that till next time, but keep going. Obviously, if it starts to get too red, or the customer says it's uncomfortable or anything like that, you would absolutely stop, but using the right techniques, your customer wouldn't experience this. It's really important as well, you can see the amount of dust that's coming off this, to use a dust collector as well, because hard skin, there's a lot of dust in that, and you don't want that to be going all over you and breathing that in, so using a dust collector is really important. You can see with each pass that we make how much this is coming down. And yes, it is some hard work, but it is really satisfying. And could you imagine your customers and how happy they'd feel? So this is a service that you can charge more for. You can do it as a service on its own. So keep working around the foot in different angles to get the different angles of that crack. And you can just see, working quite slowly, don't work too fast. You want to do a nice long glide over an area, but don't work too fast. This is in real time, so you can see the speed that I am actually moving my hand. I'm not working really slow, otherwise it will end up skipping. Keep feeling over the area as well. Does it feel soft and supple now? Is there any heat build up? And this allows you to identify whether you need to move on or whether the treatment is enough. So there's quite a severe crack here, so we do need to focus on that. And you'll see when I wiped over that and just used my finger, you can see there was still some yellowness, so still that really thick calloused part on this area. So we need to focus on this area now, and again, just a little bit, moving on, never keeping that bit firmly on one area at one time, because this will create heat buildup. So just moving around, you'll see these cracks are starting to reduce now. And just that little bit of perseverance, and keep going until you have removed all those cracks. Now, it may be a 2-part service that you offer due to time, but if you can do that consultation, you can get rid of this hard skin in that first treatment. All the other treatments will then be maintenance, and this part won't take so long. So just focusing on those deeper cracks now, working side to side, so working from the base towards the centre, and then working in the other direction. So now I'm just really polishing over that other area, and you can see how smooth that top part is. It's just around the edges. Keep feeling it over and smoothing it over, and if there seems to be a lot of dust build-up, use a dust brush just to clean over. Okay, so now I'm pretty happy with the results of this. Now it's important to identify the white parts of this crack now. Is this dust or is this still callus buildup? And you can identify this by putting some hydration into this. So I'm just doing a little bit more, and then I'm actually going to apply some cuticle oil now. And this will allow me to identify. So I've applied that. You can actually see that that is now super smooth and that was dry. So this is the finished foot.